Hello and welcome all of you to yet another episode of The Body and the Mind. In fact, we're showing you this episode after a short, small, big gap. In fact, today our topic will be Expect the Unexpected. Welcome Sanjeev ji after the small, long gap or the long, small gap.
Okay, thank you.
Today actually the topic would be Expect the Unexpected. What we meant to intend to talk in this topic is sometimes in life everything is not tailor-made towards your expectations, towards your plan or so on. For example, we all dream about something and then finally you don't reach up to the dream, and the ultimate result is frustration, heavy breathing, you just break down. So in such a situation, how does meditation help? How does yoga help? And what should we do in such a situation?
Good, it's very good, and I can say it's a very practical knowledge that every human being should have in their day-to-day life today. The very essence of this knowledge is, first of all, yoga helps you to bring in a fantastic coordination. Coordination between the mind, body and your inner self. This coordination becomes disoriented when certain things that we don't expect happens. When everything is normal, all are calm, relaxed, composed. Whenever any adversity happens or you are faced with a difficult situation, this is where we need this knowledge. In other words, in ordinary life existence, we react to these types of disturbances and you land up with all issues. That's where yoga makes you from the ordinary to the extraordinary. Mm-hmm. You shift yourself from the ordinary state of your thinking processes to that of the extraordinary. And for this, we have to understand the equipment that we all have, which is inbuilt in us.
It's not an external.
It's not external. See, even a human being, we say the greatest scientist uses only 4% of his capacity. And with the 4%, he is able to achieve so many things in the world. What about the 96% within? It is not touched. It is not rather tapped, I can say. So this is always dormant. And whenever you start going within, you start tapping your inner potential. Mm-hmm. And this inner potential is so strong and so powerful. This 4% disturbance is external, never touches you. For this, we always say you should learn to know your true nature, the true potential, the strength that all of us have. Mm-hmm. For that, body is just an external experiences which we gain, and maintaining the body is important. Mm-hmm. Breath plays a major role. Mm-hmm. Because if you see, we can sometimes live without food for some days, and nowadays people are not even eating food. So we see some yogis, they do it. But can anyone be without breath?
Not possible.
Impossible. But how far of us, or how many of us really know about this breath? As you said, whenever we don't expect something and something happens, immediately the mind disturbances has an intricate connection with your breathing pattern.
Heavy breathing.
You start breathing fast, palpitation happens, breathlessness can come. So your state of mind has an impact on the breath. If you see a farmer working in the villages, mm-hmm. their breathing is much more good, and by natural state of it, if you observe, their breathing is very slow and deep, and their mind is calm. Compared to the modern way of life today, especially in the high-tech world, here also we all breathe. Whether we say science, technology, everything, all of us basically depend on breathing for existence of life. But how well do we breathe? We don't know. So Whenever in the modern, for example, you get up in the morning, you have a rush to the office, you have to go, you have to drive. So there are so many situations in your day-to-day life which sometimes you're not able to tackle it. It becomes a strain for you. And in this, the mind is evolved, creating anxiety, frustration, tension, hurt feeling, insecurity feeling, fear. All these things has a deep impact on your breath. And you'll end up doing fast breaths. The entire process, what happens to the body system is, you are not first of all using the lung capacity. You are not purifying the lungs of the stagnant air. That's the reason for plenty of pulmonary diseases, tuberculosis, stagnant air, bad breath, all these things, because you don't have time to breathe fast, slowly, fully. You're breathing very fast. So breathing, deep breathing helps you in various aspects. Even a person, when he is calm and composed, his breathing is very slow and deep. When he is disturbed, his breathing is very fast. So breathing has a great impact on your day-to-day issues also. Your mind becoming disturbed, it has. Secondly, if you see, whenever we are breathing, the diaphragm muscle pushes the organs down, because it never allows a vacuum. It is exhaling, it goes. So whenever the diaphragm goes down, it presses against the liver, the digestive system. So every time you do a deep breathing, automatically the other system becomes activated, circulation improves, everything improves. Whenever you do, you're tensed up, you're agitated, you're frustrated in day-to-day issues, you do. So your diaphragm doesn't even have the time to go down. And what happens, you land up with having accumulated stagnant things, first of all. Then again your liver, the kidney, all these things doesn't get that activity. It doesn't touch them. So circulation reduces. Another important aspect is, whenever we do slow breathing, we give time for the blood to absorb the oxygen. Only when the respiratory system is good, the oxygen is absorbed into the body more, so circulatory system also functions better. When your circulation is good, automatically your nervous system functions better. Then the digestive and eliminatory system automatically operates. So your breathing has a direct impact on your health, mental, physical, emotional, spiritual state.
It's all correlated.
So whenever you learn the power of breath, then you can learn how to tackle your day-to-day issues also. That's where I'm coming to. Now let us say untoward incidents happen in life. The other day I was very shocked to hear one engineering student, he's studying for his 4th year. So today's modern education system is pressurize the children how much ever you can with that project, this project, that. See, we should realize they are also children. They are also coming up. We need to support them. We should know how much they can take. If this balance is not understood by the education system, the heads of the education system, you are unwantedly pressurizing a child. And a child, if you observe, is always looking for support and guidance. But whenever you too much pressurize them, automatically they lose themselves. And we are not giving any education today for a child to face challenges. Our thrust is only to study, degree, you are this project. See, so this pressure in the child, finally the child suicided.
Imagine.
So what are you driving the child to suicides? And you say there is no, child doesn't get time. He doesn't get time to anything. He doesn't have time to think. And the child suicides. And then you say, he was having that tension, this. What tension? How will the parents feel when a child does this? Actually, we have driven the child to that. We are responsible. I am responsible. Each one of us is responsible. So this is where we need to know, whenever faced with difficult situations, the child should be taught the essence of how to face the challenges. And again, if you see, whenever we have taught them how to face challenges, then a child can tackle the issue. Today, if you observe meditation, We talk about meditation, every different 1001 types of meditation. But the core essence of meditation is, if I am not relaxed, I cannot focus. Prayer, so many people run for praying in the temple, the church, the mosque. They are sitting for hours and praying and praying and praying. Prayers are basically a methodology for you to develop the power of your mind by concentration. But we just sit in the prayer hall and hardly 10 minutes you are with the prayer. After 10 minutes you are running all over the place. Your mind doesn't stay because you have obscene things going on in the mind which is disturbing you. And you do not know how to tackle your issues. So you are sitting in the prayer hall and thinking about these things. What is the use of you doing that? How can you learn to pray better if you are relaxed? Have you noticed whenever your friend is in a problem or your dear ones are in a problem, you are always a very good guide to them. You can tell them you should do this, you have to do that, this if you do it's very nice. But whenever it comes to my problem, I don't know what to do. I am disturbed, agitated, frustrated. I can't come to a decision. Why? When it is others' problem, I am relaxed. So I can guide. When it's my problem, I can't relax. So meditation is a methodology, or rather a fantastic technique, wherein you learn how to face your difficult situations in the best possible manner by you being relaxed at any given point of time.
Is meditation the best or one among the best technique to do?
Meditation is not an option today in the world. Meditation is a necessity. Meditation is a necessity. It's not an option at all. Because only when you're relaxed, your output, whether it's in your field of film or engineering or your education or in your business or in a high-tech business fields or any occasion, if you observe, the optimum result you get only when the person can be relaxed. If the person is not relaxed, you cannot make him do anything else if he's not with the clarity of thought. So how to get that relaxation is of vital importance than just making him do. It's like you have a machinery. You have a machinery. You have not have a foundation for the machinery. The base of the machinery is always shaky. When the base is shaky, how can the machinery function better? It's a very simple example. Why we do a good foundation for a machinery? So that the machinery can work efficiently. If the person itself is in a dilly-dallying state, how can you expect that person to give his fullness? Right. So a person to be stabilized and able to give his full capacity, he should learn the fundamentals, basics. How he can stabilize. Now suddenly, people, we are living in the life, we have our own things. So many things happens to us. Our dear ones are suddenly taken away from us. These are things which we don't want, we don't expect, but it happens unexpectedly. Now what has happened. Can we do anything on it?
You can't do anything.
We human beings, we think we can do anything and everything in the world. Yes, to an extent. But still we are not able to do so many things. Even just the basics, if you see, science and technology has gone to the optimum today. We are powerful. We are efficient. Human beings have reached a very good stage. But can you manufacture blood?
Impossible.
Why? If you can manufacture and do, why you can't manufacture blood? You can't. So where have we reached? If you see, zero. We talk about financial strategy and business and all these things and developing and all these things we say. But what has happened suddenly to the recession that has happened? So where is your planning? What has happened? So there are so many things beyond our control, which as human beings we have to learn to accept. Only when you accept, you can be comfortable, or rather you can be relaxed. By non-accepting, you are always triggering the other side of disturbances in your mind. You get disturbed, agitated, anxiety, hurt feeling, insecurity feeling. So, whenever you are not able to stabilize, it triggers the other side, means the negative sides or the mental sides of disturbances. So this takes you or pulls you down all the time. Whereas, this is a point wherein I need to realize that I have to accept, and I am existent to accept. But acceptance doesn't mean blind or passive acceptance. Acceptance is active acceptance, realizing that there is nothing else than I can do. Or if I tell you, accept, 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 you will say, okay, accept. You'll be more and more depressed because you feel I can't do anything. Here it is not that. Here you learn to accept, and whatever you can do, you're taking the responsibility to achieve your way. So you are in an active acceptance, learning to take responsibility to achieve your objective. Still, we have to run around, we have to do a job, we have to run to get the business or whatever strategy you are into there in your life. So we cannot sit quiet. Each one have to do our karma or actions. And the actions, we call it as purushartha. The freedom that we have in our life is from morning till night, I have the freedom. So beyond morning, yesterday and tomorrow, we are not in our control. Today is my life. Today, if I learn to take the responsibilities and operate in the right possible way, your past and future is taken care. Now something has happened in my day-to-day life. I think only why it happened, only me, only in my life, why am I suffering? You go on thinking, you're destroying the preciousness of your moment. And can you do anything that has happened? You can't do. Whatever you're planning may not happen. So, by planning also, you can plan, you should plan. That doesn't mean you should not plan. But doing the right thing at the right moment in the right place, it can give you anything that you want. So this is of vital importance. That present precious moment in life is of vital importance. So if you can't accept, then there's nothing. You are suffering. If you accept, it is not blind acceptance. How is it? Active acceptance by taking responsibilities. So that can come only when you realize there's a limit for me to do. But whatever I need to do, let me do 100%. So this helps you to tackle, whether it is your crisis or present situations, whether you sometimes lose your dear ones suddenly, whatever happens, you have to learn to accept.
That's the first thing.
That's the first thing. Because nothing else we can do. We are beyond that. We can't just say, I am everything. Yes, you are everything, but in your life only. What about the other things around? You don't have any control. First of all, you can't even control your dear ones on their habits. Then what are you talking about controlling everyone in the world? Impossible. I can manage myself. That's why yoga teaches you the core essence of management principles. Yoga is not just an exercise or a breathing or a meditation. It's the core essence of management principles, how you need to deal with your day-to-day issues. That's why yoga has to be implemented in the modern education system, not as an option, but as a requirement, more required than your education studies.
It's a need rather than a want.
Yeah. Because why it has to be there for a modern child? Because he's facing so much of traumas. Getting into a bus with an overload bag is a trauma. His homework is a trauma. His target is a trauma. Fighting to keep up with other children is again a trauma. So you're continuously putting a child in a very difficult situation, wherein you're not giving the knowledge for the child to how to face the situation. What is the system? Is this education? Education can help only when the personality is strong. If you have a machinery and you want the maximum output without servicing or without telling the know-how how to the operator, how to maintain, how can the operator maintain the machinery? As simple as that. This has to be properly understood by the systems. So that is why when an education system is strong, automatically, even when these children grow up in life, they can face challenges. They can face situations. So the generation becomes in a higher strata of facing every situation in life. Because here to a child, you are not giving the proper education to face a situation. You are only telling him study, homework, and parents are all behind him, study and study. So a generation is growing without knowing how to face situations. This is where we have to understand that yoga is a necessity. And meditation is not an option, but a requirement today. Because only your clarity of thought will come when you're relaxed. When relaxation comes, focus develops, whatever you're doing. So whenever you are doing your prayers, if you're relaxed, your prayers will be more effective, whether it is anything, whether you are in the temple or the church or a mosque or even anywhere, you are enjoying that focus. Only when you're focused, you enjoy your expansion of consciousness. Because when you focus, you know you can expand it better. And only when you expand, you know everyone is a part of me. And everyone is a part of you, why you should fight with others. So meditation is a fantastic knowledge which can help you to achieve not only from the narrow-minded existence that we live in to a much broader perspective. We call it as a samadhi. Samadhi, sama means equanimous. Di means intellect. Samadhi doesn't mean you're sitting and going off. Samadhi means equanimous state of the di. Di means intellect, wherein it broadens and you can realize my limitations and what I am able to do and learn to accept. And this acceptance can make you much more calmer, relaxed, composed. And what you need to do is what knowledge you need to have, whether it's your breathing, your food, your exercising, and your issuing and broadening your perspective in day-to-day life every moment. This integration can develop a personality or a machinery, as we call it today, because man has become a machine, not a human being. So if you want human beings to exist, you have to teach them what you are, rather than making them a machine. Even going to a gym, you are like a machine. There's no coordination. You are seeing a TV and you are doing this. So you are only developing machineries in them. There is no growth spiritually whenever you are doing this. Whereas in yoga, you develop your connection, your coordination, because every process or stretch that you do coordinates between you, your breath, and your mind being in unison. This is only one thing that can put you to develop your higher aspect. So this is very vital. I hope I have given you the answer for it. Any other things you can clear? Yeah.
I think you've given complete justice for my question which I've asked you.
Yeah.
And let us wind up with a note to people in that cadre.
Yeah. See, in that cadre, as you rightly asked me, how does meditation help to tackle? See, today, whenever you're sitting in meditation, there are 10 types of meditation, as we say, but one meditation which is very, very, very much required today is meditation to relax. Only if an individual is relaxed, he can do every other thing in the world. How to get to this relaxation is, even in the subtler of forms, whenever you're sitting in meditation, in the subtler of forms, you should be able to see everything as a sakshi bhava, as a witness. So as the thoughts come into your mind, external disturbances can be there. But in the thoughts, what do we say? Do not reject anything. So you are learning to accept everything. Do not go behind anything. That means you are not following anything. Someone is talking, shouting, yelling. You don't have to run behind that. And you don't create some ideas of your own to get yourself disturbed. Many people, even when there is no problem, they want to have problem. Do you notice? They are more tense when there is no problem. Why there is no problem? So then you create problems. So whenever you are always in that subtler aspect of sitting in meditation for 15 minutes, taking three things into consideration, this strengthens you from the inner core, wherein any type of thought disturbances stops you from, it never disturbs you from getting disturbed. So whenever it is not existent of any disturbances, and every day you are practicing this 3 times, what happens? Even in the external world, you are able to cope up with any dire situations, whether it is anything that can happen in the world. You are strong like a rock. And then you are there efficient also to tackle the situation. So this, making all of us strong internally, physically, mentally, spiritually and emotional is the core essence of how you can tackle your day-to-day issues. And all this knowledge is not to run away from life, all this knowledge to face life, to be in life. Whether it is anything, you have to learn to tackle. So this core essence is the thing that can help every individual to get the best in life.
So thank you very much, and we have time only until this episode, but definitely we'll catch you on new episode with new topics and new talks. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Welcome.